Hello everyone and welcome to the session on democracy. So in previous sessions we have seen what democracy is, what are the types of democracies prevailing in different countries and what are the conditions for a successful democracy. Today we'll look at the features which are advantages and disadvantages with regard to democracy. So firstly let's have a look at merits of democracy. So it pays special heed to the interest of common men. So special attention is given to the common men in a democratic state. So in other form of government, special consideration is given to a particular interest. But in democracy, no special consideration is given to any class of people. But in spite of that, public at large as a whole is given a special status. The interest of common people are considered supreme. Democracy is considered as the best form of government. That's why. So, in the first head, the socialist interest, the interest of the majority, the interest of the public at large is given a preference, and that is the advantageous part in a democratic state. Next is it is based on equality. So, no special right is granted to any class of society in a democracy. All are considered equal, and there is no discrimination on the basis of sex, color, caste, or creed. In India, which is the largest democracy in the world, any such discrimination has been completely abolished. So equality is always prevailing in a democratic state. There is no discrimination, कोई भेदभाव नहीं होता है on the basis of sex, color, caste, creed. इंडिया जो वर्ल्ड में लार्जेस्ट डेमोक्रेसी है वहां पर भी ऐसे कोई डिस्क्रिमिनेशन नहीं है. In the United States of America, there used to be a discrimination between the black and the white previously. The black Negroes were not treated well, but now they have been given equal rights in the society. Third merit feature is it is the greatest upholder of the lofty ideals of liberty and fraternity. So in a democratic states, liberty and fraternity ideas are represented openly in every work of the government, in every form of legislation, and in every act of the government. So the amount of liberty which one enjoys in a democracy is not found in any other form of government. So it is clear from the fact that through the state of emergency which prevailed in India previously and fundamental rights were suspended at that time, but now all the fundamental rights can't be suspended and these laws are also changed. So because of the struggle which took place after the third emergency, now the scenario has already been changed. The people are given fundamental rights under the constitution, and a democracy stress is laid on the principle of world brotherhood. In the kingship and in military and faces dictatorship, efforts are made to conquer other countries. Communist government also believe in the expansionist policy. China has occupied 1,400 square miles of territory of India, and Russia established puppet government in Hungary, Poland, East Germany, Slovenia, and Bulgaria. So democratic government believe in the policy of coexistence and solve all the problems through peaceful means. For this purpose, India also signed Panchsheel previously with China and also placed the proposal of a non-aggression pact before Pakistan in the past. Next merit is it is based on public opinion. So, in the words of Professor Gentile, who said that democracy transfers the basis of sovereignty from force to consent and views the state as existing for the individuals rather than individuals as existing for the state. Personal liberty is therefore more likely to be legally safeguarded. The strongest arguments in favor of democracy rest upon its importance in developing and elevating the masses of the people, in stimulating their interest in public affairs and stimulating their loyalty, trust in government in which they take active part. So as a democracy serves as a training school for citizenship also. So we can say that democracy is based on public opinion. हम खुद अपने ओपिनियन के बेसिस पे अपने रिप्रेजेंटेटिव को चुनते हैं, इसीलिए ये एक और मेरिटोरियस फीचर है कि डेमोक्रेसी इज बेस्ड ऑन अ पब्लिक ओपिनियन. It next one is it minimizes the chances of revolution. So डेमोक्रेसी में सबसे पहली चीज ये होती है कि वो हर चीज हर प्रॉब्लम पीसफुल मेजर से सॉल्व करी जाती है. तो सच कोई क्रांतिकारी मूवमेंट निकालने के चांसेस डेमोक्रेसी में थोड़े कम होते हैं. So in a democracy there is a remote possibility of revolution. बहुत कम chances होते हैं revolution की, because public opinion is respected. Special attention is paid to the welfare of the public. No particular class is given any special right. Everybody gets equal opportunity for self-development. Impartial elections takes place after every 4 or 5 years, and the opposition parties get full opportunity to express their views freely. The opposition parties do not feel the necessity of removing the government by a violent revolution when it can be removed by the use of ballot system. अगर आप गवर्नमेंट से सेटिस्फाइड नहीं है तो उस गवर्नमेंट को आप आगे क्या वोट देंगे? नहीं देंगे ना, तो पीसफुली हम गवर्नमेंट बदल सकते हैं. Next is it serves as a training school for good citizenship. So democracy gives as training in discipline, love, sympathy, cooperation, and benevolence. And democracy, the administration is in the hands of the representatives of the people and they receive a sort of training. So democracy में क्या होता है, हम अपने प्रतिनिधि को चुनते हैं और हमारे प्रतिनिधि हमारी इच्छाओं का निवारण करते हैं. So what they do, they work as per our will. So there is a cooperation which is expected from the representative and the public at large. So दोनों ही cooperate करके हिसाब से काम चलते हैं जिससे कोई टसल ना हो और पीस हिंडर ना हो. Next is democracy is an efficient form of government. In democracy, the representatives of the people themselves run the administration and they're afraid of doing any wrong thing because they're responsible to the parliament and the people at large. They consult many experts in efficient running of for the administration and pay special attention to criticism of the press. अब डेमोक्रेसी में हमेशा जब भी काम करती है सरकार तो हर चीज का ध्यान देती है कि जनता क्या चाहती है, कानून क्या कहता है, और एक्सपर्ट ओपिनियन भी लेती है. और उन्हें मीडिया का, प्रेस का भी डर होता है कि अगर वो कुछ गलत करेंगे और वो बाहर आ गए तो फिर उनको कोई वोट देगा ही नहीं. For the fear of public opinion, they check the government of spending lavishly and compel the government to follow the principle of economy. Government officials are recruited on the basis of competitive exams and they're given adequate training also. So they remain at their post till their retirement and they become experienced and efficient. So जो गवर्नमेंट ऑफिशियल्स हैं उनको स्पेशल एग्जाम्स के थ्रू अपॉइंट किया जाता है और फिर उनको ट्रेनिंग भी दी जाती है. तो ऐसे नौसिखियों को जॉब पे नहीं रख लिया जाता है जो काम करते हैं. In the words of Gardner, popular election, popular control, and popular responsibility are more likely to ensure degree of efficiency and than compared to any system of government. Next matters point is that it raises the moral standard of people. In dictatorship and absolute monarchy, common people are considered incompetent. They are deprived of all the rights and they are not considered fit for providing leadership in the administration. But in democracy, government believes that the people are the ultimate source of sovereignty and the leadership is essential. So monarchy और डिक्टेटरशिप में क्या होता है कि जनता को किसी काम का नहीं समझा जाता है, जो हेड डिसाइड करेगा वही फाइनल होगा. पर डेमोक्रेसी में ऐसा नहीं होता है. डेमोक्रेसी में अल्टीमेट सोर्स ही पब्लिक होती है. So all adults are given the right to franchise or right to cast vote in a democratic state. Elections are held periodically. With this, people realizes their power and sense of responsibility is inculcated among them. Because elections of wrong person hits the administration badly, Bryce has said the members of the individual is dignified by his political enfranchisement and that he is usually raised to a higher level of the sense of duty which it throws upon him. In the words of John Stuart Mill, it promotes a better and higher form of national character than any other polity whatever. So एक बहुत अच्छा higher form of national character of government is democracy. In the language of Lowell, the best government in the long run is the one that nurtures a people's strong and moral force in integrity, industry, self-reliance, and courage. So democracy is the only form of government which fulfills all these conditions, and this is the best form of government as well. Next one is it gives political education to the people. अब कोई वोट कर रहा है तो उसे ये तो पता होना चाहिए ना कि वोट क्यों कर रहा है, वोट देने का अधिकार उसको क्यों दिया गया है. सो इसी बहाने से मतलब इस यूनिवर्सल एडेल्ट फ्रेंचाइज के फीचर से ही पॉलिटिकल एजुकेशन जनता को मिल जाती है. लोग बात करते हैं सरकार में क्या हो रहा है, कौन एमपी बना है, कौन इलेक्शन जीत रहा है, क्या नई चीजें सरकार कर रही है. So in a democracy, every adult has the right to vote. People have the right to contest election without discrimination of caste, creed, property, sex, religion and education. हर व्यक्ति को वोट करने का अधिकार होता है without any discrimination on the basis of caste, creed, color, place of birth. Dissimilarity of views is tolerated in democracy. There is freedom of expression and belief. Many political parties emerge in order to give political power to a particular party. Elections are held periodically. हर पार्टी को मौका देने के लिए periodical elections किए जाते हैं. At the time of election, every party propagates its program among the people, and the attention of the people is concentrated towards various political, economic, and social problems. तो हमेशा political parties selection से पहले अपना manifesto लेके घर घर जाके वोट मांगती है और कुछ promises करती है कि अगर आप हमें वोट देंगे तो हम आपके लिए ये काम करेंगे. At the time of election, the workers of political parties take the voters to polling station and tell them about the way to cast the votes. And this way people receive training in democracy. अगर कुछ लोगों को वोट देना नहीं आता होता है तो वर्कर्स जो होते हैं इलेक्शंस पार्टीज के वो उनको ले जाते हैं और वोट दिलवा के लाते हैं. So all government is a method of education, but the best education is self-education. So the best government is self-government, which is a democracy. Democracy promotes patriotism and national unity as well, and creates the interest of the people in the administration. In all, democracy builds trust of the people in the government. In democracy, citizens have a sense of participation in the government. अब democracy में लोग साथ साथ सरकार के साथ काम करते हैं और उसे महसूस भी करते हैं. As the government is run by the representative elected by them, participation in the government makes the people responsible and the spirit of patriotism is inculcated in them. साथ साथ काम करने में उनके दिल में पेट्रियाटिज्म की फीलिंग भी आती है और उनको अपनापन भी महसूस होता है. They take interest in the administration. There is no wide gulf between the government and the people and feel that they are the builders of their country. In the words of John Stuart Mill, democracy strengthens the love of the country because citizens feel that the government is their own creation and the magistrate are their servants than masters. So there is a social unity in a democracy. Democracy is the nearest to that social organization in which individuals and society has organic relationships. So let's have a look at the example of the social and national unity. China and Pakistan aggression जो इंडिया पे हुआ था पास्ट में. At the time of Chinese aggression, our late Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru ji, and at the time of Pakistani invasion, our late Prime Minister Lal Bahadur Shastri ji and Mrs. Indira Gandhi ji appealed to the people for creating national unity and extending full cooperation to the government. All the people and political parties extended their full cooperation to the government. They sank all differences and gave a wonderful evidence of national unity. Democracy is the most suitable for social, economic and political and religious reforms. So democracy से ही social, economic, political, religious reform बहुत अच्छे से हो सकते हैं. In democracy, administration is in the hands of the leaders. They are full cooperation of the people and they are of very progressive views as well. So डेमोक्रेसी में हमारे प्रतिनिधि रिप्रेजेंटेटिव्स के हाथ में हर चीज होती है और उनके साथ जनता को साथ कॉपरेट करते हुए वो नतीजे पे पहुंचते हैं. So with the cooperation of the people, they eradicate all evils and try to make the country powerful. So जनता के साथ से वो हर चीज सही करते हैं. जैसे हमारे लेट प्राइम मिनिस्टर जवाहरलाल नेहरू जी ने जमानदारी सिस्टम को भी जनता के साथ मिलकर ही खत्म किया था. अनटचेबिलिटी ये भी जनता के साथ मिलकर खत्म करी गई है. So in all, there are a lot of advantages, features of this democratic form of government. We have a look at the demerits of this democratic form of government. अभी हमने अच्छी चीजें देखी, अब हम थोड़ी बुरी चीजें भी देखेंगे जो इस फॉर्म ऑफ गवर्नमेंट में प्रेजेंट होती है. The first one is democracy is the rule of incompetent person. Now what do you think? ये competent person होता कौन है? Democracy is considered the rule of fools, incompetent and illiterate persons. अब जरूरी नहीं है, कुछ लोगों को ऐसा लगता है कि डेमोक्रेसी बेवकूफों का, अनपढ़ लोगों का खेल है. According to Plato, administration is an art which can't be acquired by the common man. Only intelligent and competent people can fully understand the administration, but democracy is the rule of illiterate persons. प्लेटो ने ये कहा कि डेमोक्रेसी या फिर एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन का जो काम है वो एक कला है, वो सिर्फ इंटेलिजेंट लोगों के हाथ में ही होती है. कोई बेवकूफ अनपढ़ इंसान ही डेमोक्रेसी का खेल खेल सकता है. एरिस्टोटल हैज कॉल्ड डेमोक्रेसी एज अ परवर्टेड फॉर्म ऑफ गवर्नमेंट. एरिस्टोटल ने डेमोक्रेसी को एक बहुत उबा हुआ फॉर्म ऑफ गवर्नमेंट कहा है. हिस्ट्री शोज दैट intelligence resides with the few and not with the many. So while ignorance rules, liberty is curtailed. Democracies are unfavorable to intellectual progress and the advance of scientific truth. Next demerit is that it hinders progress of civilization and culture. In the words of Henry Manet, Lecky, Tracy, who criticizes democracy because it hinders the progress of culture and civilization. They are of the view that common people are generally of the orthodox views and oppose the progressive measures. According to them, civilization and culture develop in aristocracy. Culture और civilization सिर्फ aristocracy में develop हो सकता है, democracy में develop नहीं हो सकता है. According to Burns, the civilization which is a democracy produces is said to be banal, mediocre और dull. जो civilization democracy में बनती है वो बहुत dull सी होती है. Sir Henry Manet ने ये कहा that it seems quite certain that for centuries there had been a very widely extended franchise. There would have been no reformation of religion, no change of dynasty, no tolerance of deceit, and not even an accurate calendar. Democracy में कोई progress नहीं होती, इन ऑल ये कहना चाह रहे हैं. Next demerit is democracy gives more importance to the quantity rather than quality. इसमें ये कहना चाह रहे हैं कि डेमोक्रेसी में जो मेजॉरिटी ऑफ पीपल है उनके इंटरेस्ट के बारे में ज्यादा ध्यान दिया जाता है, उनके लिए ज्यादा एफर्ट्स किए जाते हैं एज कम्पेयर टू स्मॉल क्लास ऑफ पीपल. सो दे आर बेसिकली फोकसिंग ऑन द क्वांटिटी rather than quality. Democracy is also criticized for giving importance to quantity rather than quality because in democracy the decision of victory and defeat lies in the number of votes one secure. तो वोट बैंक इकट्ठा करने के लिए भी ज्यादा लोगों को जो पसंद है, मेजॉरिटी जो चाहती है वो किया जाता है. The value of the vote of a highly educated person is similar to that of a fool. While enacting laws in the parliament, all matters are decided by the majority votes and no importance is given to the views of the minority. Democratic administration is very costly. ये भी बहुत जगह कहा जाता है कि democratic elections are very costly. So the huge amount spent on election could be put to better use in many other ways. जितना amount election के खर्चे पे होता है वो कहीं और लगाया जाए तो किसी का भला हो. So election causes much excitement, dislocation and disorder also. So the numerous bodies of legislature and ministers are also very expensive. The democracies have no motives to economize. They are liable to misendewage at the hands of the financial inventors and mountebanks. सो इन नेता नगरी के मिनिस्टर्स के ऊपर जो खर्चा होता है, इनकी सिक्योरिटी पे जो खर्चा होता है, वो किसी बेटर जगह यूज हो सकता है. इसलिए ये कहा जाता है कि डेमोक्रेसी में एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव कॉस्ट बहुत ज्यादा आती है. नेक्स्ट इज capitalist exercise a dominant influence upon the democracy. The capitalists exercise a great influence in a democracy because they give donation to the party which is expected to win the election and later on influence the lawmaking in the country. The capitalists influence the press as well as the economy of the country because the majority of newspaper industries are their property. अब जो rich होते हैं वो लोग कुछ ज्यादा ही impact factor रखते हैं because हर चीज उनकी होती है. देखा जाए तो बड़ी बड़ी फैक्ट्रीज, मीडिया हाउसेस, पब्लिकेशन हाउसेस, ये सब वो बिलोंग करते हैं. तो कैपिटलिस्ट इन्फ्लुएंस कर लेते हैं डेमोक्रेसी में डिसीजंस को. डिसीजन क्या होंगे? डिसीजन उनके अकॉर्डिंग लिए जाते हैं बिकॉज इससे वो पैसा लगाए. So American brand of democracy is called dollar democracy. Indian, English and other democracies are also dominated by the capitalists. The socialists call capitalist democracy as useless and the real freedom of labor is only guaranteed in the socialist democracy. Next and the most disadvantageous part of democracy is corruption. अब हम आए दिन देखते रहते हैं, कभी चारा घोटाला, कभी कोलगेट स्कैम, कोई ना कोई कांड होता ही रहता है इंडिया में भी. So political parties spoil the harmonious atmosphere and corruption becomes rampant. जो political parties है, जो ये एकदम शीतल अच्छा harmonious atmosphere होता है, उसको दूषित कर देती है corruption कर करके. So during election, moral consideration are subordinated to securing the largest number of votes. जो moral qualities है वो साइड में रख दी जाती है वोट बैंक इकट्ठा करने में. इलेक्शन प्रोपेगेंडा मिसगाइड्स एंड मिसएजुकेट्स पीपल. इलेक्शन प्रोपेगेंडा में क्या होता है? कैसे भी लोगों को मैनिपुलेट किया जाता है जिससे वो अपना वोट उन्हें दें. सो आफ्टर इलेक्शन द रूलिंग पार्टी बिकम्स ऑटोक्रेटिक. एक बार ही सत्ता में आने के बाद जो रूलिंग पार्टी होती है वो अपनी मन मर्जी करने लग जाती है, फिर वो किसी की नहीं सुनती है. सो इन दिस वे दे स्टार्ट मेकिंग आउट देयर मनी. उन्होंने जितना पैसा लगाया होता है वो निकालने की कोशिश करती है और इससे करप्शन होता है. Next demerit is rule of majority becomes unjust sometimes. So in democracy, majority becomes autocratic and does not care for the minority. अब जो majority होती है, majority के बारे में सोचते सोचते minority तो कहीं खत्म ही हो जाती है. Because क्या होता है हमेशा कि majority क्या चाहती है, सबका भला किसमें होगा वो करना चाहिए. उसके चक्कर में जो छोटा सा ग्रुप या क्लास ऑफ पीपल है जिनको कुछ चाहिए, जिनको किसी चीज की जरूरत है, वो तो कहीं खत्म हो जाते हैं मेजोरिटी के चलते. उनके साथ अन्याय होता है डेमोक्रेसी में. So this helps in the establishment of tyrannical rule. The interest of minorities have been completely ignored in Pakistan and they have been pushed out of that country like Hindus, Buddhists, Christians. इन्हें उस कंट्री से ही निकाल जाएगा बिकॉज ये माइनॉरिटी थी. उन्हें माइनॉरिटी की जरूरत ही नहीं थी. मेजोरिटी को खुश करने में चक्कर में उन्हें माइनॉरिटी को लात मार दी. गवर्नमेंट इज नॉट स्टेबल इन डेमोक्रेसी. अब जो सरकार होती है वो स्टेबल नहीं होती है डेमोक्रेसी में. देखते हैं क्यों नहीं होती है. बिकॉज इन अ मल्टी पार्टी सिस्टम द गवर्नमेंट इज नॉट स्टेबल as was the case during the Third and the Fourth Republic in France. In Kerala, the government could not become stable and several times the president rule had been imposed. There is bi-party system in England also. Yet in 1964 and 65, the Labour Party had a very little majority in the House of Commons, which made the functioning of the government very difficult. So, कभी कभार क्या होता है, दो से ज्यादा पार्टीज मिलकर कोलिएशन गवर्नमेंट मिलकर सरकार बनाती है. तो जैसे ही एक पार्टी या दो पार्टी के लोग उनसे मत हटाते हैं, सरकार गिर जाती है. इसीलिए जो डेमोक्रेसी होती है वो स्टेबल फॉर्म ऑफ गवर्नमेंट नहीं मानी जाती है. इन स्पाइट ऑफ दैट डेमोक्रेसी एक इमेजिनरी फॉर्म ऑफ गवर्नमेंट मानी जाती है, बिकॉज इन प्रैक्टिस तो डेमोक्रेसी के जो फीचर्स हम पढ़ते हैं वो एट टाइम्स तो देखने को मिलते ही नहीं है. सो दैट्स व्हाई डेमोक्रेसी इज अ इमेजिनरी फॉर्म ऑफ गवर्नमेंट. लोकल कॉन्फ्लिक्ट हार्म द नेशनल इंटरेस्ट. अब डेमोक्रेसी में क्या होता है, कभी कभार अपना काम निकलवाने के लिए लड़ाई झगड़े दिखाने पड़ते हैं. तो इन लड़ाई झगड़े, छोटे मोटे लड़ाई झगड़ों को बड़ा दिखाने के चक्कर में जो राष्ट्रहित की बात होती है ना, वो कहीं खत्म हो जाती है. So in this scramble of power and patronage, the welfare of the nation as a whole suffers. The representatives compete with one another in securing maximum benefit for their own constituencies. The general interest of the nation is ignored for the sake of the local advantage. In India, several communal rights took place at the time of states reorganization. जब इंडिया आजाद हुआ था तो स्टेट और रीऑर्गेनाइजेशन के टाइम भी बहुत सारे लड़ाई झगड़े हुए थे. लड़ाई झगड़ों के चलते जो नेशनल हित था, जो नेशनल इंटरेस्ट था, वो कहीं खत्म हो गया. सो इस सब से लड़ाई झगड़े और ये जो गलत तरीके पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज ऑप्ट करती है अपना काम निकलवाने के लिए, इससे देयर इज अ लोअर मॉरल स्टैंडर्ड इन पीपल. इससे लोगों का मॉरल स्टैंडर्ड कम होता जा रहा है इन अ डेमोक्रेटिक फॉर्म ऑफ गवर्नमेंट. मनीड पीपल डोमिनेट इन डेमोक्रेसी. जो पैसे वाले लोग हैं वही डोमिनेट करते हैं. दे परचेज वोट एंड पुश आउट द एनलाइटेंड पुअर पर्संस. बिलियंस ऑफ रुपीज आर स्पेंट बाय द कैपिटलिस्ट टू विन द इलेक्शन. सो क्या होता है कि लोग वोट खरीदने लग गए हैं. So there is a red tapeism and corruption in the administration, and the common man has to bribe the government official. इसलिए नॉर्मल इंसान को अपना काम निकलाने के लिए सरकारी ऑफिसर को रिश्वत देनी ही पड़ती है, वरना फाइल तो आगे ही नहीं बढ़ती है. So all these evil dominate the political scene in India as well. Even democracy proves very weak in times of war and crisis. A democratic government is weak in war and crisis. In 1940, Hitler smashed France only in 3 weeks. Southern Vietnam was weaker than North Vietnam because there was democracy in Southern Vietnam and communist dictatorship in North Vietnam. So South Korea is weaker as compared to North Korea. इसीलिए वॉर सिचुएशंस में क्या होता है, डेमोक्रेसी में ये देखना पड़ता है कि मेजॉरिटी लोगों का नुकसान नहीं होना चाहिए, वो क्या चाहते हैं, वॉर होना चाहिए नहीं होना चाहिए, उस पर बहुत सोच विचार होता है. पर डिक्टेटरशिप में बस अंधाधुन लड़ाई झगड़ा चालू कर दिया जाता है, लोगों के बारे में सोचा ही नहीं जाता है. जैसे मैंने अभी आपको बताया कि डेमोक्रेसी के मेरिट्स क्या हैं, डिमेरिट्स क्या हैं. Most of the allegations are against democracy. Now these all are baseless, girls, and those which are real can be removed to some extent. और जो सच में एग्जिस्ट करती हैं उन्हें हम कहीं ना कहीं हटा सकते हैं. So there are 6 defects in it as such: the power of money, which perverts in administration or legislation; the tendency to make politics a gainful profession; extravagance in administration; the abuse of the doctrine of equality and failure to appreciate the values of administrative skills; the undue power of party organization; and the tendency of legislator and political officials to play for votes in the passing of laws and in tolerating breaches of order. So ये 6 कुछ ऐसे पॉइंट्स है जिन्हें रिमूव करने की कोशिश करी जाए तो डेमोक्रेसी इज अ वेरी गुड फॉर्म ऑफ गवर्नमेंट, गर्ल्स.